What's going on, sports cards fans? Ray from Philly here. It is Monday night, December the 6th, and this here is my video on the Errors Committee voting yesterday and electing 6 new players. And I'm going to show a couple of the rookie cards from the guys that were elected yesterday. First off, congratulations to Bud Fowler, Buck O'Neill, Gil Hodges, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, and Jim KAAT. Last week, I did a video on making my predictions for the Golden Era. I predicted Dick Allen, Minnie Minoso, and Tony Oliva. So I was glad I got 2 of the 3. But I was surprised they voted in 4, because usually the Veterans Committee, the Old Timers Committee, whatever you want to call it, doesn't usually pick that many, usually 1 or 2. And I went out on a limb and picked 3. But they picked 4, which was good. I'm really glad and excited for Gil Hodges. He deserves it. He's been, when people think of who's the most popular player not in Hall of Fame, taking off Shoeless Joe and Pete Rose, they always say Gil Hodges. So I'm glad Gil Hodges got in. His wife is still alive and still lives in the same exact house in Brooklyn that her and Gil lived in the 1950s. That's pretty amazing. So I'm glad to see Gil Hodges making it. They made the call to his former teammate, Carl Furillo, which was really cool. So I'm glad Gil Hodges got in. Minnie Minoso, I thought all year this year he was going to get in. The Gil Hodges rookie now those cards move. They were in the future Hall of Fame set registry. Now they will get moved to the post-war rookie Hall of Fame set registry. And they probably are already in there by now. If not by today, definitely by tomorrow. PSA is pretty quick on that when they're moving guys around set registries. So I don't have the Gil Hodges rookie. I don't have the Minoso rookie. I'm not going to pick them up now because this is not a good time to pick up guys that just got elected. Take it from me. The hype is too much right now. I would think I would wait till after the Hall of Fame in July. They'll come back down a little bit. So I'm okay with waiting on Hodges and Minoso till the end of next year. But as far as the other 2 guys, I have them. I'm going to show them now. Here is the 1960 Topps Jim KAAT in a PSA 6. I met Jim KAAT at the Philly show about 2 years ago. Had him sign his rookie card. Got the card graded, and the card came back at 3.5, which I couldn't believe. I ended up getting rid of it because I was just so angry that the card looked phenomenal. So I went out and bought another one. I got this about a year ago. So there's the 60 Topps rookie, Jim KAAT. This guy I've been all over for a while, Tony Oliva. Here's the 63 Topps in a 7. I picked this up several months ago. I'm glad Tony Oliva got in. I think he totally deserved it. That's why I picked him last week. 3-time batting champion. It's a great contact hitter. So there's my 2 rookies there. In the early days, I did pick Bill Dolan and Buck O'Neill. So I got one of those 2. So I picked 3 of the 6 guys that got in. Not bad. So I'm happy for Buck O'Neill. He should have got in 2006. Didn't get in. He did get a Lifetime Achievement Award about a year or 2 after that. I think it was a year after that. And now he's actually in the Hall of Fame. So it was cool. I watched a live feed from Bob Kendrick from the Negro League Museum watching the announcement, and people were just going crazy. So that was cool. Buck O'Neill is just a great ambassador, one of the nicest guys ever. So there's my 2 rookies, the Jim KAAT rookie and the Tony Oliva rookie. These will be going from my future Hall of Fame set registry to the post-war rookie Hall of Fame set registry. I'm going to wait on Gil Hodges. There was one up for sale last night for in a 3 for $425. 6:30, I went on and it sold within seconds. And I just felt like, what am I doing? I've always been a stickler for just waiting until the hype comes down for these players. So I'm going to wait on them. I'm not too worried about them. Minoso is going to be going crazy. He was going crazy all year, his rookie card. And why? Because he's in the 52 Topps, which is an iconic set. So that's why that card is just going through the roof. And I don't know how much lower that's going to come down even after the Hall of Fame. It's going to definitely be a low grade for me on that, like a 2 or a 3. Fine. I'm okay with that. So now to address the elephant in the room, and we all know what that is. Dick Allen. Dick Allen didn't get elected yesterday, and I was shocked, like everyone here in Philly was. Here's my thoughts on Dick Allen. After he didn't get elected last night, and by the way, this was his second ballot in a row, which he came within 1 vote short. And I've always said that when a player comes within 1 vote short on these old timers, veterans, era committees, the next time in the ballot, they've always gotten in. This is the first time I've seen a player come within 1 vote short, and the next time again come within 1 vote short. To me, that just confirms that the next time around, it's just going to be, it has to be a lock the next time around. So I sat back and thought about it, and I'm kind of glad I didn't do the video after the announcement last night, and I waited 24 hours because I didn't want to come off as a typical Philly fan, whiny person, and didn't want to make it seem like the other guys didn't deserve it. I picked Tony Oliva, I picked Minnie Minoso, I picked Buck O'Neill, so I wanted those guys to get in, so I'm glad they're in. But after thinking about it, I took a step back and wanted to take a bigger look at Dick Allen's numbers, and maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was missing something. I was like, yeah, maybe I'm looking at it as like a Philly fan and just being a homer and saying, whatever. So after looking at it all night last night, all day today, and looking at Brian Kenny's videos that I posted from MLB Network, and I just come to the conclusion that I was right. He should be in. I'm even more so convinced now that he should be in. I don't know what's going on. I know a lot of people in Philly. It's been all over the papers today. Jason Stark wrote an article. Jim Salisbury has written an article. Ruben Amaro went off on Twitter and apologized. It's been on the radio. It's been on TV. It's been a big thing here. There's a local Philadelphia guy here named Mark Carfagno who used to be a Phillies groundskeeper in the 70s. And got to be good friends with Dick Allen. He started this campaign on Facebook, and I'll post a link to that down below if you want to join it, called Dick Allen Belongs in the Hall of Fame. Just like Gil Hodges has one called Gil Hodges Belongs in the Hall of Fame, which, by the way, they changed the name of that to Gil Hodges is in the Hall of Fame, which I thought was really cool. The Dick Allen Belongs in the Hall of Fame is started by Mark, who lives around here. He's been running this campaign for at least a decade, and it's grown and grown and grown. He flew out to Florida last night with Dick Allen's family, expecting for him to be picked and having a celebratory flight on the way home. It did not happen, as we all know. So there's been a lot of disappointing people on that Facebook page. But here's the thing. Here's my thoughts on it, on why I think he deserves to be in it. The Hall of Fame is changing, okay? A lot of people want to go by milestones. I was a big stickler on milestones. Got to have 3,000 hits, or you got to have 500 homers, or you got to have 3,000 strikeouts, or you got to have 300 wins. Done. I've come to the conclusion, I've come to accept that 10 years ago, I looked at the traditional stats of Dick Allen. I was like, nah, he doesn't have 500 homers. He doesn't even have 400 homers. He doesn't even have 2,000 hits. But they're looking more now at just traditional stats. They're looking now at sabermetrics. They're looking at something from a book that I read earlier this year by Jay Jaffe, the Cooperstown Case book. There's a sabermetric stat called JAWS, which is the player's best offensive WAR numbers in a 7-year peak period. And Dick Allen had all of them. Brian Kenny has been a stickler for Dick Allen for years. He's been tooting his horn for years, for at least 10 years. And Brian Kenny said, look, and I'll show this video at the end. Brian Kenny has Dick Allen's sabermetrics for, I think it's WAR, OPS plus, and JAWS, all of these numbers. And for that 7-year peak from the 60s, and I think it's 64 to 70, he's ranked number 1. He's ahead of, and I hope I'm getting these names right, it was Frank Robinson, I think it might have been Hank Aaron, Carl Yastrzemski, Joe Morgan. He was ahead of all of them. He was ranked first. Those guys had the traditional stats. He has the sabermetric stats. And that's where they're headed towards. They're headed more, they're looking at a bigger scope of these players now. They're going back and taking a second and third look and seeing if what they're missing And people might say, well, does that mean they're going to let everybody in? No, because look at how many players have played in the history of the game, 20, 30,000, and I'm pretty sure it's less than 1% are in the Hall of Fame. So no, they're not letting everybody in, but they're taking a look at a bigger, broader picture other than just the milestones. Forget about the milestones, people, and you know who you are. The milestones, I think, are going to be far and few between. You're not even going to see 300 wins anymore. You might still see 3,000 strikeouts from pitchers now because everyone's striking out more. So 3,000 strikeouts might not even be that big of a deal anymore. You might see the 4,000 be the new 3,000, or, you know, it's not going to be that big of a deal anymore because everyone's striking out. 500 homers. I remember when Committe got his 500th homer, he was only like the 8th player. And then during the steroid era and the 90s and early 2000s, they went from like 8 to like 30. I think you're going to see a little bit less of that. So I think you really need to not be so... I was a guy focused on milestones, don't get me wrong. But I've just recently started changing in the past 2 years and looking at more than just the milestones. Look at their OPS plus, look at their WAR, look at their 7-year peak performance. Guys like Sandy Koufax didn't have a long and incredible career. Dizzy Dean, you know, there's guys that had only 6, 7 great years and they're in the Hall of Fame and they have nowhere near the milestones. This is where Dick Allen falls in. That's where I really believe that Dick Allen falls into that category of that 7-year peak. He was better than everyone. He made the All-Star team pretty much every year and batted cleanup. Not Hank Aaron, not Willie Mays, Dick Allen batted cleanup in those All-Star games. You can look that up. I'm not sure if he did it every year, but I saw Brian Kenny say a lot of those years in the 60s, he was in as the cleanup hitter. Willie Mays and Hank Aaron both said he should be in. So I don't want this to come off as a whiny thing. I'm good with it. I just think that it's going to happen. The thing that I'm only angry about really is that it's got to wait another 5 years. He was on it in 2014. He was supposed to be on the next committee, I think, in 17 or 18. That's when they made a bunch of changes, and they pushed it back to 2 years to 2020. They were like, okay, fine. 2020 comes, pandemic. So now you got to wait another year. So he's waited 7 years to 21, and I'm okay with it. But now it's got to be 5 years again before it's December of 26 before this committee comes up again. That's the only thing that stinks about the whole thing. It's not like he took a drop to like 5 votes or 3. He was still at 11. He was still 1 vote short. So to me, it just confirms that he's going to get in. I was just wanted to bring out points to people that, well, a lot of people say he doesn't deserve to be in. You have to look at more than the milestones. You have to look at more of, well, he didn't lead the league in a lot of this or a lot of that. They're looking at a broader scope of things now. So that's why you're going to see, like Jacob deGrom's, everyone thinks he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He has nowhere near 100 wins right now. He has 75 wins. I think by the end of his career, he'll be lucky to reach 150. But why is he going to get in? Because he dominated for a 7-8 year stretch. He didn't compile 300 wins. He's not even going to get 200 wins. But you get the point. There's guys out there that did it in a shorter scope and dominated. So that's all I wanted to bring out was that, you know, it's cool. We'll wait till 2026. Just like Gil Hodges had to wait a long time. I think the new big name now is Dick Allen. It was Gil Hodges for years. People would always say, who's the biggest popular name that's not in him? It always came up Gil Hodges. Now it's going to be Dick Allen. So there you have it. I just wanted to come on and give a quick synopsis, my opinion. I'm not bitter. I'm not angry. We're just going to wait till next time in 2026. So appreciate all your likes and comments. Thanks for tuning in. Congratulations to Tony Oliva, Jim KAAT, Gil Hodges, Minnie Minoso, Buck O'Neill, thank God, and Bud Fowler. Talk to you guys real soon. I'll be back again tomorrow night. And like I always say, have fun with it. Take care.
First of all, let this sink in. Dick Allen is one of the top 20 hitters in the history of baseball. That's not my opinion. It's a quantifiable measurement. Playing in one of the lowest run-scoring periods of the game, his adjusted numbers make him tied for 13th in OPS plus in the live ball era. And Allen is on par with Willie Mays and just above Hank Aaron.
Oh, one of the best hitters I've ever seen, Richie Allen, yeah.
He could hit a ball further than anybody that I've seen.
I wish that we could figure out where they landed sometimes, because they were just moonshots.
The only person in the entire history of the game who may have an edge on Dick Allen for pure power is Babe Ruth.
On May 29, 1965, Allen unloaded on Chicago right-hander Larry Jackson. The ball cleared the left field roof and came down 529 feet away. It's thought to be his longest. Another time, he hit one that appeared to still be going up when it hit the light tower and rattled around on the roof before dropping back down onto the field.
Richie scored 125 runs his first full season and was named Rookie of the Year.
He had tremendous speed and could go from first to third as well as anybody in the National League.
Peter Gammons has even mentioned that he was regarded as a great base runner. And the metrics back that up. His extra bases taken percentage. He's like a speedster. So that doesn't match up with being a malingerer. I mean, that to me is evidence of this guy actually played the game hard.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, when he was in Chicago, Chuck Tanner, who was the manager of the White Sox, would have Allen teach the rest of the team how to run the bases.
His slash line is sensational in any time period of baseball. .299 batting average, .386 on base, .554 slugging. A .554 slugging percentage in the late 60s. Between 1964 and 1974, the #1 hitter in the game. That's #1 in OPS plus, #6 overall in WAR, and #1 in offensive WAR.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Long drive, left field, home run, way up on the roof. Brother!
His season for an 11-year period, talking 1964 to 1974, very comparable to what Mike Trout did this year. He's playing in the deadest of the dead ball era, really, in the 1960s and then up through the early 70s. And if you do the park adjustment, the league adjustment, and the era adjustment, this is, again, right-handed hitters. He's one of the top 10 hitters in the history of the game, the equal of Frank Thomas, almost Hank Greenberg, and Willie Mays. This guy's an unbelievable offensive player.
Richie Allen is one of the best players ever.
Richie Allen was and still is a Hall of Famer as far as I'm concerned.
If Dick Allen is not in the Hall of Fame, then the Hall of Fame has no legitimacy.